let's try and implement some of this code here. So back to the GitHub repository where everything is. We're just going to scroll a little more down and see how we can actually start using this. Now, let's just try to get this first. This is first just a standard href link to, again, there's many more of these, but the smooth scroll, I like this one from this view one here. There's more plugins for this. But I'm going to copy the first one here with an href, and I'm just going to put it on top of everything. So I'm just doing it here. So href is the anchor for a block called div ID, and if you call this part 2 or section 4 or whatever you do, make sure that we get the correct ID once we create this later on. But let's go scroll, anchor, scroll, whatever. That's fine, right? That's just a text for it. So the next part we want to do is we're going to grab this. This is the div ID again. This is the reason we have the anchor here. It's going to this specific ID. So selector for an ID and the name of the ID. Great, 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 great. Less talking, more doing. So let's put this at the end of our code here. So let's just put it in here and write smooth scroll to me. Awesome. And let's click save. Let's go back here and refresh. So let's click anchor. And nothing happens because it can't scroll. That's great, right? It's nothing to scroll to. So we need to add just a little bit more. Maybe your page has a lot of information and you can then scroll. But right now nothing happens, weirdly enough, right? So what we're going to do is just above our div ID, I'm just going to create a blocker. That's the name of the div ID I'm going to create, and just give it a set height so it can scroll past it. So this is just the ID I'm going to use for the box here. Scroll down to your styles and I want to hit the blocker, and in here I'm going to give it a height of 1000 pixels, not this, and then I'm going to give it a border so we can just see 2 pixels, solid, light blue. There we go. So hopefully this creates a border. So now we have a scroll element, right? Cool, it's really pretty. So let's click refresh, and if we click anchor, now you can see it scrolls down, boom, kind of fast, but it does a smooth scroll instead of doing instantly. That's great. Now what else can we do here? We can do different things like offsetting. So offsetting if it needs to be scrolled specifically to, say we have more than like this one down here, we have another one. So if the smooth was actually up here, specifically here, this is where we need to actually scroll to this part. This would be like scroll to offset 0 like this, right? So there's no space. And then we can add like -50 or +50 to move it up and down so the scroll can be a little bit more specific. That's things you can add. I don't want that right now. Basically what I want is the duration. I want to change how fast it scrolls. Now they gave an example down here and how we can do this. So I'm just going to copy this line here and paste this into my code. So back up to the top where we have our anchor link at line 5 for me. I'm going to paste this in. I don't want the container part. I just want to change the duration. So I remove container and offset and I just have this. And I'm going to set this to 3000 to totally make it really slow, just so you can see it works. And just move this down again. And like this, move it in because OCD with coding, and like so. So let's click save. Duration for 3000 milliseconds, which should equal 3 seconds to scroll. So once I click this, it should take me 3 seconds to get to the specific part, or close to at least. And that's what it's doing now. So now we're changing the speed of the scroll as well. And that's how we can implement, fairly easy I would say, a smooth scroll to your Vue.js in here. Awesome.